This week sees me head to the Ards Peninsula via the Castle Ward Dog Park for Sky to have a run around. Exciting, Sky. We're catching the ferry to the other side. Port something. Thank you. But we never grounded, so I'll take that as a win. It's all bumpy, isn't it, Sky? That's the one's waiting to come on, and we're going this way. Wait for that car. We might spend the night here if there's no signs, because it is one of the rooms on park for night. After a quiet but slightly blustery night, just look at this view I woke up to. You can just make out Audley's Tower across the loch. I did a quick litter pick as usual, and then I walked round the National Trust woodland that was opposite. It was about 2 miles in all, and then you could also walk into the town through a little tiny park. Portavogie was home to one of the first Irish Presbyterian congregations, with the church being built in 1841. It is thought to be based on the Temple of Nemesis, which is on the Greek island of Ramnos. Either way, it is very beautiful. This is all that remains of Tullyboard Windmill. It was built in 1771 and was used for over 100 years and caught fire in 1878, and I believe I read that was on Christmas Day. There were once about 50 windmills on the Ards Peninsula, so it was also known as Little Holland. The windmills were used to grind grain and also to scutch flax. Scutching involves separating the woody stem of the flax from its fibres and would give long fibres called line, short fibres called tow, and waste woody matter called shives. While using a windmill was quicker and cheaper, it also produced much more waste than the traditional methods of separating it by hand. The views from the top were pretty good on the clear day, and you could see over to Mealmore, where I was not a few weeks ago, which the round thing said was 23 miles away. I highly recommend taking this coast road. It's absolutely stunning, but on really bad weather it is closed because it can get pretty wild, as you can imagine. This park up was quite funny. When I got here, there was a car and it stayed there, so I assumed it was parking overnight, sleeping in the car. And when I got out at 10 o'clock at night to walk the dog, I nearly tripped over their tent because they'd parked it on the grass right beside my van. And then, as if that wasn't enough, in the morning I heard doors opening, shutting, and assumed it was the guy putting his tent away. Anyway, when I peeked out, I was surrounded by cars, and there was a fishing competition going on. But everyone smiled, said good morning, and was perfectly relaxed about it all. So that was quite good fun. And I moved off down the road to get out of their way to this place here to take the dog for a walk. I did all 3 walking routes twice. I still only just clocked up, I think it was about under 4 miles. This is a bit of a test because I've bought myself a clip-on mic because I noticed I was getting a lot of wind noise. So yeah, going to give this a go, and if it works I might lash out and get something a bit more expensive. This carving is an elm tree, and the poor lady is called the Frump in the Stump, which I thought was a bit mean. The nearby plaque has poems from the local primary school children. 19th century, Kearney was a thriving fishing village. It is now owned by the National Trust, and they say it has been restored to give authenticity of a traditional fishing village. I think it is a rather sanitised and picturesque view, and I can't imagine the cottages ever looking this white or the grass being that uncluttered. So there's some seals. There's one just to the left of the outcrop on the right, and a couple in the middle of the bay. What caught my eye, which I didn't realise they did, was one of them jumped up out of the water, and I got all excited. I'm like, oh, there's a dolphin, there's a dolphin! Because there is dolphins in Strangford Loch, which is not far up the road there. Oh, 3 together there, close. But yeah, they're seals. Obviously, they know I'm here. And then coming into view, and I'm going to zoom in, which would be fun with one hand, is this Quinton Castle. Sadly, not open to the public, but you can go and stay there. Bird Point is the most easterly part of Ireland, and there's an island there as well off the coast where apparently the Danes buried their dead. It is now the home of breeding terns. This whole coastline is absolutely treacherous for shipping and responsible for a great many shipwrecks. The indistinguishable white blobs on the island are actually terns. "2024 has been a year of high winds and storms, one after the other. It's been a bit like living in a bowling alley. This west doorway is one of the most decorative features of the abbey, although it would rarely have been used by the monks and was more for visitors. Built in 1193 by Alfrika, who was the wife of John de Courcy, an Anglo-Norman invader, and it was said to be in thanks of a safe landing after a storm. The abbey was originally called the Yoke of God and is said to be the first Gothic abbey to be built in Ireland as well. I have put more information about the abbey in the comments. So many empty and derelict houses. I just love the doors and the windows on the ground floor of this one. Skye lay quietly like this for 45 minutes or so on the floor of the hide while I was waiting to see if I could catch a glimpse of a red squirrel at last. What a little star he is. Look at his face. Next I'm heading north to the north coast and then west, joining the top half of the Wild Atlantic Way.